evening. It's just past 6 o'clock on Saturday the 7th of October, and welcome to Wyke Regis TV News. And in the headlines this week, Dorset Police is appealing to local communities to continue to report suspected drug-related crime and activity to the force via a new intelligence portal so offenders can be targeted and communities safeguarded. Drug-related crime and other associated offences, including theft and violence, has significant impact on communities, and tackling them remains a force priority. Every year, the force takes action to disrupt individuals and criminal gangs who have been directly linked to illegal drugs activity, and as a direct result of information and intelligence received from the public. Dorset Police is again joining forces with Wiltshire, Devon, Cornwall, Gloucestershire and Avon and Somerset as part of the regional intensification campaign called Operation Scorpion to disrupt drug-related crime and share intelligence to create a hostile environment for those intent on dealing their illegal drugs across the region. Assistant Chief Constable Mark Callaghan from Dorset Police said, "I would like to thank the public, including our business communities, for coming forward and reporting information about drug-related activity to us. To make it even easier for the public to come forward, we have created an intelligence portal on our website." And just a reminder, the Dorset Police website is www.dorset.police.uk. Every piece of information and intelligence has a value, so if you have seen or heard something that you think we should know about, please come forward and let us know. The information and identity of anyone reporting intelligence to us is protected, but if you aren't comfortable talking directly to us, you can report anything anonymously through our partners Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. Now, every piece of intelligence that is received by Dorset Police helps to build a picture. Things may not be actioned immediately, but as more information and intelligence is gathered, it helps to build a picture which could lead to the police taking enforcement action, safeguarding a possible victim, or identifying somebody involved in crime. Now, staying with the latest news, during the evening of the 3rd of October this week, a fire broke out at Fish and Fritz, situated on the corner of Market Street and Maiden Street in Weymouth, which required both roads to be closed whilst the fire and rescue service dealt with the incident. All staff, customers and neighbours were swiftly and safely evacuated from the premises and surrounding buildings, and thanks to the rapid response of 2 firefighting appliances from the Dorset and Wilts Fire and Rescue, the situation was brought under control effectively and efficiently. The affected area was cordoned off as firefighters and the owner of Fish and Fritz assessed the extent of the damage caused by the incident, everyone concerned being committed to ensure the safety of staff, customers and neighbours. Now, we've heard that the owner is aiming to open the business as soon as possible, but as and when we don't know exactly yet. Good news is, though, that everybody was safe. Now, vulnerable people in Dorset are being urged to get their COVID-19 and flu jabs before the winter kicks in. Vaccination appointments are available now at a number of GP sites, pharmacies and vaccination centres across the county. Anyone aged 65 or over, as well as people with certain underlying health conditions or who live with someone with a weakened immune system, are being urged to top up their protection against the viruses. Pregnant women, carers and frontline health and social care staff are also eligible and are encouraged to get their jabs as soon as they can. Now, you can book your COVID-19 jab now through the National Booking Service using the NHS app or by calling 119. So you just go onto Google and search for book COVID vaccination and it tells you the local places that you can do that. And in the Weymouth area, they are currently at Portland Hospital and the Linden unit in Radipole Lane. Now, for more information on getting your flu vaccination in Dorset this winter, go to www.publichealthdorset.org.uk/flu. An archaeological dig in Weymouth has unearthed the ruins of an 18th century pub. The dig, taking place behind the former council offices at North Quay in Weymouth, is now 3 weeks in, and there have already been some exciting discoveries. Several buildings have been unearthed in the initial phase of the excavation, revealing an 18th century pub, along with Victorian building and two 17th century buildings. The pub discovered was known as the Weymouth Arms and was originally built in the 1760s as a residential property before becoming a pub in the early 1800s. A nearby bombing during the Second World War saw the pub close its doors in November 1940, suffering blast damage to its back wall, which the archaeological team have found during the dig. They have also found pottery dating back to the foundation of the town in the 13th and 14th centuries. While still in the preliminary stages of the dig, the excavators are testing out a theory that the town stagnated during the 16th century as the Black Death and the 100-Year War took its toll on the area. And we will bring you any more on that dig and finds as the weeks go on. Now, round 4 of the Household Support Fund reopened for applications this week for low-income households in the Dorset Council area. The government scheme funded by the Department for Work and Pensions provides support in the form of supermarket vouchers. Citizens' Advice will be allocating this fund on behalf of Dorset Council, and vouchers will be issued to residents who meet the eligibility criteria within 6 to 8 weeks. Now, Dorset Council households will be able to apply if they have an annual household income less than £30,000 and savings of less than £16,000, and they have not applied for a previous household support fund payment within the last 6 months. Calculations for the annual net income should not include things such as personal independence payment, disability living allowance, attendance allowance, carers allowance, or child benefit, and applications are limited to 1 per household. Residents should apply online, and to find out more details, including future application window dates as well, and to apply, you should search on Google for Dorset Council Housing Support Fund. That's Dorset Council Housing Support Fund. Now, if you need help completing the form, you can telephone Dorset Council Customer Services on 01305 221 000. That's 01305 221 000, or you can pop into any Dorset Council customer service point, such as at Weymouth Library. That's the Household Support Fund. Now, Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner has launched the second round of his Fix the Future Community Fund. The fund aims to help support projects and initiatives which will benefit young people and their local community. Applications are open for community groups and organisations to bid for funding for projects and initiatives that reflect the needs of younger people, give them development opportunities and value to the community, and ultimately make Dorset a safer place to live in. This includes ensuring Dorset's younger residents have opportunities to use their spare time constructively and activities available which help them develop and become resilient adults. The fund was launched by the Police and Crime Commissioner in October 2022 and has already paid out £40,000, over £40,000, given to 9 community projects across Dorset. Applications can be from £100 up to £5,000, and the fund is particularly aimed at helping those from deprived and isolated areas. Now, to find out more about the fund and how to apply, go to the PCC or the Police and Crime Commissioner website at www.dorset.pcc.police.uk and look for the Fix the Future Fund. Fix the Future Fund. Now, a consultation has opened inviting residents, local MPs, councillors and community groups within the Dorset Council area to have their say on the location and suitability of their polling station. The consultation began this week and will remain open until the 13th of November. Polling stations are rooms or areas where voting is carried out, and they should be within easy reach of all electors from across the polling district. Voters are urged to check their poll cards carefully when they are sent out in March this year, as their polling station may have changed. And certainly for those residents in Wyke, Regis, where we are based, there are some changes planned on polling station locations and which polling station that you should go to. Now, a report on the feedback from the consultation will be given to the full council meeting on the 14th of December this year. Now, more information about the proposals, which includes lists of polling areas and polling stations and a map showing how things are broken down, can be found on the Dorset Council website at www.dorsetcouncil.gov.uk/review-of-polling-places. Now, it's rather a long thing, but if you just type into Google Dorset Council review of polling districts, then I'm sure you will find that. And as I say, there are lists of the polling stations and the changes and maps available as well, and then there is a survey to complete with your feedback. If you need any help with the consultations and you need them in another format, then you can email elections@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk, elections@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk, or you can give them a call on 01305 838 299. Now, Dorset Council's Volunteer Digital Champion Service is 10 years old, and to celebrate is holding a Get Online roadshow. During National Get Online Week, which is the 16th to the 20th of October, the Council's volunteers will be manning stalls in Sherborne, Bridport, Wool and Wimborne, and anyone needing help to navigate the digital world are urged to pop along. The Volunteer Digital Champions will be able to answer any questions people have, and visitors will also get the chance to try out some tablets and take part in fun interactive quizzes. And everyone who visits one of the Volunteer Digital Champion stalls will be able to enter a free draw with a chance of winning a tablet of their own. The Volunteer Digital Champion Service was set up in 2013 when Dorset Council's Superfast team realised that rolling out broadband to people was not enough to get people online. Initially set up with the help of Skills and Learning, the first few digital champions were recruited and based in some of the council's libraries to provide face-to-face support to people needing help. Since then, the army of volunteers grew, and there are now 45 digital champions based at 39 locations across the county, from Verwood in the east to Lyme Regis in the west, and from Weymouth in the south to Gillingham in the north. And in the last decade, they have helped around 15,000 people in their face-to-face appointments and a further 3,500 people over the phone since they launched their digital hotline back in 2020. Now, anyone who can't make the roadshow events can find out where their nearest Volunteer Digital Champion service is by calling the digital hotline on 01305 221 048, 01305 221 048. And I know for residents in Wyke Regis that they are often present in the health centre in Wyke Regis on certain days of the week. So if you need to pop along and see them, call that number and find out exactly when they are available, and they can help you get online, help you set up phones and tablets, access the internet, show you how to use email, all those sorts of things that we all need to do these days to survive and access many services. Now, Weymouth Outdoor Education Centre, with support from Active Dorset, is providing accessible and affordable clubs for Dorset's young people. Dorset's young people now have greater access to affordable clubs thanks to Active Dorset's satellite club funding. Weymouth Outdoor Education Centre has launched 2 new teen clubs, with the climbing club going from strength to strength. These low-cost sessions, only £5 per session, are made possible by generous funding from Active Dorset, making them accessible to a wider range of local young people. These sessions not only foster social engagement, but also build essential life skills and encourage appreciation for Dorset's stunning coastline. Weymouth Outdoor Education Centre offers a whole range of educational programmes, from day visits for schools to alternative provision for those struggling with mainstream education. The Weymouth Outdoor Education is run and managed by Dorset Council. They also host after-school youth group sessions, holiday clubs, activity sessions for young people with special educational needs and disabilities, and the popular Hot Food and Activity programme for children receiving free school meals. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the Weymouth Outdoor Education Centre and all of the activities and things they offer, you can search on Google for Weymouth Outdoor Education Centre, or WOEC, W-O-E-C, and you will find lots of information about them online and all the activities available there for young people. Recent statistics are sticking a bit with education. Recent statistics have shown that girls perform less well than boys at maths. And this has underscored the need for action, revealing a concerning trend where girls in Dorset are falling behind their male counterparts in maths performance. According to the latest statistics, only 66% of girls achieved the expected standard in maths. This is 6% below the national average. In contrast, 70% of boys in Dorset met the standard, albeit still trailing the national average by around 3%. In a bid to tackle the gender disparity in maths achievement, Dorset Council is committed to improving maths education for all students, paying special attention to girls who may need extra support in this subject while still giving boys all the support that they need. One of the key components of the initiative is providing support to parents to enhance their maths skills so they can support their children better with their learning. Now, Weymouth College is key in this effort by offering free multiply training to parents who wish to strengthen their own maths proficiency. This resource is available to any adult residing within the Dorset Council area who did not achieve a grade C or above or equivalent in maths. The 5-week training for parents is flexible, offering both online and in-person options to meet the diverse needs of parents. This targeted support will be conducted throughout the year, emphasising a long-term commitment to narrowing the gender gap in maths achievement. Parents in the Dorset Council area who'd like to sign up for this training so that they can support and help their children with maths should email dta@weymouth.ac.uk. That's dta@weymouth.ac.uk. Now the countdown is on for this year's Weymouth Beach Motocross, and organisers are delighted to announce one of Weymouth's premier manufacturing companies situated on the Granby, Weymouth Precision Engineers, as this year's main sponsor. This high-flying extravaganza over humps and bumps will be held on Weymouth Beach on Sunday, October the 15th, with bikes entering the sands from 12 noon for practice laps. There will also be demonstrations on Saturday the 14th of October from 3 p.m. President of the Weymouth and Portland Lions Club and event organiser Ryan Hope expressed his great gratitude for the fantastic support of Weymouth Precision Engineers. On behalf of the club, I'd like to thank all those businesses that have supported the event this year, including Mr Wilson and all those at Weymouth Precision Engineers who have become our headline sponsors. As like everything, the event has seen cost increases this year, and without the generosity of our sponsors, we would be unable to hold this annual event. That's as Ryan Hope says. And Weymouth Town Council have issued information with regards to the beach motocross for October the 14th and 15th. They are saying that the beach will be transformed into a motocross course complete with bumps and jumps, which will mean there will need to be some temporary beach closures. On Saturday the 14th of October there will be a motocross demonstration from 3 p.m, and on Sunday the 15th of October the racing will start at 1 p.m, with races from juniors, seniors and expert level. So on Saturday the 14th and 15th, starting from the pavilion end of the beach to the Jubilee clock, the beach will be closed to the public from 8 a.m. This is to allow heavy machinery to come onto the beach and build the sand jumps needed for the motocross. There will also be road closures that have been put in place by Dorset Council. No vehicles will be allowed along the part of the Esplanade and part of Custom House Quay in both directions between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Sunday the 15th of October. The road fronting Devonshire buildings will be open for access only. Traffic will be rerouted through the one-way system around Alexander Gardens to continue onto the Esplanade or use Pilgrim Way for access to Custom House Quay. To view the road closures in more detail, visit the Dorset Council website. And finally, in our headlines tonight, the warmer than usual weather could bring a boost to soon-to-be hibernating hedgehogs and dormice. The short warm snap forecast ahead could be good news for wildlife as they stock up on food for hibernation, with balmy weather set to boost the berry season. With temperatures set to peak at 25 degrees this weekend, which is way higher than the average for this time of year, the Woodland Trust and Nature Calendar team said, whilst unusual, the short warm spell of this time of year may not be bad news for wildlife. October is an important time for the likes of hedgehogs, whose populations are widely known to be dwindling, as they shuffle and snuffle about, feasting on food ahead of hibernation. Now, Dr. Kate Lethwaite from the Woodland Trust said the warmth may boost the amount of food around for many creatures. She went on to say, whilst it is clear that our seasons are changing due to climate change, rather more positively, it may give a little bit more time for those animals that are set to hibernate, like hedgehogs, to find their prey. Hedgehogs feast on worms, beetles and other insects, all of which will remain active for longer in the milder weather. Dormice can stock up on bigger abundance of berries and nuts. It may also extend the active butterfly season for species like the red admiral. The Woodlands Trust Nature Calendar project tracks the effects of weather and climate change on wildlife across the UK, with a data set going back nearly 300 years. This allows them to get better sense of how climate change and other patterns in the environment are impacting nature. Nature's Calendar is supported by players of the postcode lottery, the People's Postcode Lottery. Now, the Woodland Trust needs more recorders to track nature's changes, and you can help with this. For more information about the Nature's Calendar, go to woodlandtrust.org.uk/Nature's Calendar. So woodlandtrust.org.uk Nature's Calendar. There we go, and that's the end of the headlines this week. Now, at this point in today's programme, we're going over to Clive Gray for This Week in the Garden. Here comes Clive now.
Well, it's time now for me to start sowing my winter products for the greenhouse, and I've got a new one here, which is they're called cowcots or cowsots. They are a Spanish type of cross between a spring onion and a leek, and I'm going to be growing them in one of my deep containers. So I've already prepared this, and I'm just going to get some seeds, and they're typical onion seed. They're fairly small. I don't really want to overdo this in there. That's going to be more than enough. I'm just going to lightly sprinkle these over the surface in here, and that's probably around about 30, 35, something like that. Get those growing in there. Obviously we'll thin them out as they grow. Well, these need a soil temperature of at least 15 degrees to germinate, but then they like to grow over winter. So it's a really good time to be sowing them now. Just seal the top of that. And then I'm going to just open some compost and cover that up. And we'll just put a nice little covering of compost over the top on here. Lovely. This is going to give me hopefully a nice harvest of these. Let's see how it goes. Right, I'll just get the watering can, water that in, we'll get that started off. I'm also going to be putting out some winter greens. I've got some all year round cauliflowers which I'm going to plant. I'm going to be doing some lettuce and some rocket and some cut and come again salad just for the winter months. So we'll have plenty of activity going on in the greenhouse, and we'll catch up on that in the new year. Well, it's a really good time now to just take advantage of this warm start to October. So in order to get some more germination here, I'm just going to plant out some more all year round cauliflower seeds. And I'll get a little group of those going in this tray here, and just fine sprinkling on here. So we're going to have around about 20 or 30 seeds here. Not all will germinate, but we'll get a nice little spread. And I'm just going to put some compost over the top of those. Nice little fine spread of compost here. That's plenty there. Then we just level that down. and we'll water that in, and hopefully within about 10 days or so we'll have germination on these, get them growing, and then we'll be able to move those into the polytunnel for overwintering. So still got a few more seeds I'm going to be putting out and get things growing for the winter time. But just a quick look at some of the sowing that I'm getting on with in the greenhouse this week, and I'll be back in a week's time with some more of what we're doing in the garden.
Thank you very much, Clive. And we'll be back with Clive next week, and Clive's October longer programme will be out very, very shortly, so watch this space for that. It's now time in today's programme to go over to Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This weekend, the supernatural horror film The Exorcist Believer releases in cinemas. The film is a direct sequel to the cult favourite 1973 film The Exorcist. The film stars Leslie Odom Jr. as a widowed father whose daughter becomes possessed. The film also stars actress Ellen Burstyn, reprising her role as Chris McNeil from the 1973 film in which the character's daughter Reagan was possessed. The film comes from the same production team that produced the Halloween sequel trilogy, with this Exorcist film being the first in a trilogy of new sequels to the 1973 film, ignoring the continuity of any other sequels or films that came in the intervening years. The next film will be titled Deceiver and will be released in April 2025. Believer releases in cinemas this weekend and so far has negative reviews from critics, only amassing about 23% positive reviews from critics. I heard a very bad review for it the morning I'm recording this, so yeah. It seems like it's not. It might be a financial success, but it won't be a success with critics. This week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was released on home video. This film is the 32nd film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is set in the aftermath of Avengers Endgame and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. The film revolves around the Guardians going on a mission to protect Rocket from his creator, the High Evolutionary. I reviewed the film back when it was released on Disney Plus back in August, I think, and I gave it 4 stars out of 5, and I praised the acting, the visuals, and the directing, but I criticised some of the script at the beginning of the film. The film was a success with critics and a box office success. This week, Disney's Haunted Mansion released on Disney Plus. The film is an adaptation of the Disney theme park attraction of the same name. The film features an all-star cast, including Lakeith Stanfield, Tiffany Haddish, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, Rosario Dawson, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Jared Leto. The film revolves around a widowed mother who enlists the aid of a team of exorcists to clear out her mansion. The film was initially released back in July to generally negative reviews from critics, about 40% positive, and it was a bomb at the box office. I haven't seen the film yet because honestly I forgot that it was coming out until it came out, but I will be watching it on home video at the end of the month, so stay tuned for that. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will talk about the home video releases of Disney Pixar's Elemental, Transformers Rise of the Beast, and hopefully, should everything work out okay, the live-action adaptation Knights of the Zodiac, which is based on Japanese manga and anime. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and we'll be back with Andrew next week. So now it's time to go over to the Met Office and see what the National Weather Forecast has in store for us this weekend. And this week we are joined by Jonathan Vaultry.
Hello there. Today is certainly one of contrasts across the UK. Despite some early mist and fog patches, much of England, Wales and Northern Ireland have seen a fine start to Saturday. Some hazy sunshine around in places, but for Scotland there has been persistent rainfall overnight, and that is continuing throughout all of Saturday as well. Heavy outbursts, and as a result there are yellow and amber rain warnings in force. Particularly within the amber zone, widespread disruption is expected. Issues with transport links and flooded properties are possible, and there is a danger to life due to the floodwaters around, with a month's worth of rain potentially falling in some locations. Do continue to take care if you are here and stay up to date with the forecast and any travel advice issued. This rainfall is associated with a weather front that has stalled its way across Scotland and is essentially just going to stick there throughout much of the day, continuing to provide that rain consistently. This is a contrast to the rest of the UK, where high pressure is actually in charge, centred across continental Europe, and in fact it is dragging up heat from parts of North Africa, parts of Iberia and Spain, and transporting it closer towards the UK, allowing for a bit more of a summery feel in places, with temperatures rising notably above average for the time of year. This high pressure will keep things relatively dry for much of Northern Ireland, Wales and England. Again, a good number of sunny spells around at times. Just a touch hazier for Northern England, parts of Northern Ireland where there is a bit more of a cloud around at times, but temperatures climbing up towards 24 degrees Celsius. Usually across these three countries, we'd normally expect temperatures at this time of the year to be around 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. So we are really certainly well above where we should be for the time of year. A noticeable difference feel underneath the cloud and rain across Scotland, but also with the northerly winds that are being dragged down in across the Northern Isles and across the far north here as well. Some places struggling to see above 10 degrees Celsius and climb into that double-digit mark. As we head throughout the rest of the evening, there will continue to be some heavy pulses of rain ongoing across Scotland, and later on in the night we might start to see further outbreaks arrive from the Atlantic, pushing their way across the Outer Hebrides and the Western Isles, so do again continue to take care throughout the night. For most of Northern Ireland, England and Wales, again largely dry, but cloud pushing into eastern areas of England will turn quite murky here, and we'll see some fog patches developing across the far south of England and Wales as well. For most of us, it will be a relatively mild night, temperatures holding up around 12 to 14 degrees Celsius. We might drop into single figures in a few sheltered valleys and more widely across the far northeast of Scotland as well, where that colder air mass clings on. It is the north of Scotland where again we will continue to see rain pushing through over the course of Sunday. Initially across the Western Isles, then spreading into the Highlands, Moray, Aberdeenshire, over towards the Northern Isles as we head throughout the latter part of the day. The cloud across eastern England will be a bit stubborn to clear throughout Sunday morning, but eventually into the afternoon we will start to see some brighter spells developing. The best of the sunshine probably across central parts of Wales, England and southern parts as well, where again temperatures will climb towards 23, 24, perhaps an isolated 25 degrees Celsius in there as well. So really quite warm for the time of year. Just a little bit of cloud perhaps lingering around some Irish Sea coastal areas throughout the day, and that could continue throughout the overnight period as well as we end off Sunday and head into the start of the new working week. The rain though in the far north will eventually clear its way off as we do head off into Monday, and things easing off a touch and turning drier here. Do stay up to date with the forecast, and we'll have all the latest across our social media channels. And we'll be back with the latest on the website, on the app and on YouTube very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Jonathan, for the weekend weather forecast. And turning to the local weather this weekend and the week ahead, you can see quite mild, sunny through most of the week, or sunny spells, maybe some rain from Wednesday to Friday, but still very mild for this time of year, with daytime temperatures about 19 degrees and slightly higher, because this forecast is always slightly lower than what we get. So looking to be a nice weekend and a nice week ahead. Turning to the what's on then this week at the Pavilion, you have got just a few minutes if you're a fan of ELO to get down to Weymouth Pavilion tonight, where they have ELO again. 12th of October, Rod Stewart Songbook. 19th of October, The Wall of Floyd Dark Side of the Moon Tour. 21st of October, Magic of the Bee Gees. And 22nd of October, Simon and Garfunkel Story. Now, these are bookable online at weymouthpavilion.com. Where you can see details of all the other shows that are coming up, and you can also contact the box office on 01305 783 225. Now, also to let you know, on Friday the 10th of November, that you can experience one of the best discos that are on offer, as Disco Inferno makes its way to Weymouth Pavilion. Now, it's set in the East End of London during the burning summer of 1976. Disco Inferno is the story of a young man's struggle to break into the music industry and the lengths he finds himself willing to go to in order to guarantee his success. The 2-hour production features the biggest hits of the Bee Gees, Village People, Jackson, Sister Sledge, and many, many more. It's a national tour. It's at Weymouth Pavilion for one night only on Friday the 10th of November. Tickets are available on the Pavilion box office website or on the telephone. And we have just a short snippet to wet your whistle now of Disco Inferno.
That's right, baby. I'm talking DISCO.
There we go, just a little taster there of Disco Inferno coming to Weymouth Pavilion on the 10th of November. So do get your tickets early. That's likely to be very, very popular. Lots of PR going on about that show. Now, turning to the Nothe Fort, this weekend is the Pirate Weekend. That's been happening today, Saturday the 7th, and will happen again tomorrow, the 8th of October, as will tomorrow the artillery display will be on. Then on the 21st to 29th of October, that's half term week, Halloween fun at the fort. More details on all the things going on at the Nothe Fort on www.nothefort.org.uk. Turning to Arts Reach now. Full programme is now published on the Arts Reach website, so do take a look there. But things coming up: 8th of October, Desert Island Flicks, that's tomorrow at Winfrith Village Hall. 13th of October, Canterbury Tales at Piddle Trentide Memorial Hall. 20th of October, a pocket opera, Portisham Village Hall. 25th of October, Stories in the Dust at Royal Manor Theatre on Portland. And 26th of October, Egg and Spoon at Power Stock Hut, especially focusing on young children. More information and bookings on www.artsreach.co.uk. Looking at church services tomorrow in the Wyke Regis area, it is Harvest Festival, so traditional harvest services tomorrow at All Saints Church in Wyke at 9:30 and 11 o'clock at St Edmunds in Lanehouse. You can go along with your harvest offerings, and particularly tins and dried goods, which will end up with the local food banks and like to support people who are struggling with finding and funding their own food. So that's 9:30 All Saints Church and 11 o'clock at St Edmunds Church tomorrow, Harvest Sunday. Now, tonight, our other programme, our online quiz, will be with you at 7:30, going live just before 7:30. And also, there is a live quiz in the Memorial Hall at Wyke, starting at 7. So you have got... You've probably got about 15 or 20 minutes to get yourself up there if you fancy doing that this evening. Tickets are £5, and you get some free raffle tickets. That's 7 o'clock, so get yourselves up there now if you fancy doing that. And we will let you know about a year gardening with Clive Gray when October's programme is out. Now, that's the end of this week's programme. As ever, it comes around very quickly, and it seems very quick to get through the programme, but there we are. We are there again this week. If you have any stories or news for us for next week or the weeks ahead, do drop us a line at news@wykeregis.tv. That's news@wykeregis.tv, and we would love to hear from you. We hope that you have a good weekend and enjoy the warm weather. and look forward to being back with you next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Good night.